John, welcome. Thank you for joining us today. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Doing well, thank you. So
Great.
we'll go ahead and get started. We'll lead the conversation off just with a little bit about Direct Mail 2.0, what the platform is, and then we'll dive right into questions. I know I've got a list of questions, and we'll encourage our participants to submit their questions in the Q&A feature, and then we'll get to those at the very end as well. So first off, what is Direct Mail 2.0? First of all, our name says direct mail, but we don't print, we don't mail, we integrate. So what we do is we are a white label technology platform. And what we do is we complement your client's direct mail pieces with integrated digital strategies to get to that 8 to 16 touch point mark that we know we need to hit with consumers in order to move the marketing needle in the right direction. So again, here too, we seamlessly track the effectiveness of your client's direct mail campaign while enhancing the results through the integration of digital platforms, including Facebook, Instagram, Google, and the USPS's Informed Delivery platform. So again, here too, we take an omni-channel approach when it comes to marketing. So there are two schools of thought here: omni-channel, which is taking the exact same message and delivering it to your consumer from a vast variety of different angles, versus multi-channel marketing, which is taking slightly different marketing messages. Maybe they have consistent branding, consistent themes, but it's not necessarily the exact same message, and that is delivered to the consumers. So how do we do this? How do we achieve these 8 to 16 results? We have a suite of 7 technologies that are timed and delivered strategically to drive the maximum exposure and engagement for your client's direct mail campaign. And the best part is we aggregate all of this data and have it in one white labelable dashboard so you can see everything and you can present these results to your clients in real time. So we'll do a really quick dive into each of the technologies and then we'll get into the questions. So the first technology that we have at Direct Mail 2.0 is called Social Match. And here we are matching the mailing list of your Facebook and Instagram accounts so that we can serve ads to the direct mail recipients before, during, and after they receive their direct mail piece. So here we're really priming those people for your marketing message and for them to receive that direct mail piece. We take that direct mail creative and we translate it into those digital ads that will then get served up on Facebook and Instagram feeds. With the dashboard, you can see the number of ad displays and clicks that are generated through the social ads. With our next tracking technology, we have mail tracking. So I don't know about you or how many people have had this question, but if your clients come to you and say, was my direct mail campaign even delivered? Now you can go with mail tracking and say, well, yes, it was, and here's the exact pieces that were delivered and the exact times they were delivered. So here you can actually let your customer know the expected delivery dates for the direct mail drops, and they can then be prepared for that influx of calls and traffic that they're going to see because of their direct mail campaign. And the best part is you can track this down to the per piece level. So with this, you can work with your client to search down to individual pieces to see exactly who received that direct mail piece and when it was delivered. And we do this with an integration through Google Maps, so you can see a street view of the delivery location. So again, here too, the beauty of mail tracking is you can predict and confirm when the mail reaches mailboxes, almost like an Amazon package. Our next technology is informed delivery. So here we're adding an additional digital touch point to your direct mail campaigns. I don't know about you, I've recently signed up for informed delivery. We're based here in Clearwater, Florida, and it rains all the time. And I don't want to go out and check my mailbox unless it's mail that I really want to see. So I get that informed delivery email every morning. I'll scroll through, check my mail. And with this, we actually can have a full color clickable ad that is delivered within that informed delivery email sent by the USPS. So this really stands out among the grayscale images that you're going to see in that email and really catches people's eye when they open up these informed delivery emails every morning. So again, here too at the dashboard, you can see the number of unique visitors who came to your website from those digital informed delivery ads. So this is a really great way to track those metrics, including the views that your ad has, along with the amount of clicks that the ad garners as well. A really cool feature that I also like to talk about is call and text tracking. And text tracking is something that we've recently added to this technology. So here you're going to get access to live updates and recordings of the calls that your client receives as a result of the direct mail campaign. And this is a really, really powerful tool. We've seen examples of clients actually going and listening to the recordings and finding out that there are some really critical training opportunities. Their receptionist may not be answering the phone right. They may be answering the phone, and for example, you've got a dental campaign and they're doing teeth whitening, but the receptionist is talking about insurance and dentures, and you're going, wait a second, what? So with call tracking, you can really identify those pain points internally and see what needs to be done in order to better handle those calls. Another great thing about call and text tracking is you are provided with a unique number that is only on the postcard. So this is a really great way for you to directly attribute those calls and texts as a result of your direct mail campaign. So this is a really powerful tool that's going to show you exactly who called, who texted as a result of that direct mail piece. So again, here too, through the dashboard, you're able to see full demographic data on callers with visual integrations through Google Maps. So what happens after the direct mail piece is delivered? Online follow-up will continue to show these ads to your target market through Google Display Advertising. So these ads are going to show up throughout the Google Display Network on some of their favorite websites and the websites they visit most commonly. And again, here too, the information is all displayed in the dashboard. So you'll be able to see the number of unique website visitors, who came to the website, who clicked. So again, here too, you're really able to attribute that website traffic to the direct mail digital integrations that we're providing. Another really cool follow-up feature we have is social media follow-up. So again, here too, we're going to continue to serve those ads to the direct mail recipients and your target audience through Facebook and Instagram newsfeeds. So these unique website visitors will be retargeted, so they'll continue to see the messaging, and this will help drive them back to the website. So again, here too, the website is a destination, so we want to keep driving them back to there. So that's what these follow-up ads do, is they continue to re-engage, continue to put your marketing message in front of your clients, and really drive home that marketing message. So again, here too, here's a really good example. Again, the omni-channel marketing approach. Consumers are going to see the exact same message across these different channels. So again, really cutting through the marketing clutter there and really achieving those 8 to 16 touch points that we know is going to make that impact when it comes to a purchase decision or consumer behavior. And again, here too, we love reporting at Direct Mail 2.0. So through that dashboard, you'll be able to see the number of unique website visitors who have been recognized as active Facebook and Instagram users. And you'll be able to track these ad metrics, including ad displays and clicks. Now, one of our most fascinating technologies here is Lead Match. So with Lead Match, you're able to track and record exactly who visited the website as a result of the direct mail campaign, regardless of whether they took action or not. So a really great feature that Lead Match will enable you to do is called direct mail retargeting. So what you can do is you can purchase leads, and these are anonymous website visitors. And what we'll do is we will give you the mailing address. You can then take that mailing address, use a data appending service, get the rest of the data, and then mail to these clients. So you can take that website visitor that may not have taken an action on the website, but you can then send them a mail piece. So we know abandoned shopping carts are a thing. I have a ton of them, honestly. So what we see people do is through direct mail retargeting, they can then follow up with a postcard and say, hey, come back to the website. Here's a 15% off coupon, or here's a 25% off coupon. So you're really extending that user experience and customizing it based on web actions that they took on the site. So I think that's a really powerful marketing feature that we're going to see exponentially increase in usage over the coming years. So, and again, here too, with the dashboard, you're able to track these website analytics, and you're able to export these lists to see exactly who was on the website and who you can use to target in future marketing campaigns. So I know that was a lot of information, but it was just a very high overview of all things Direct Mail 2.0. And without further ado, John, I want to welcome you again to our Meet the Partner webinar. I really appreciate you being here today.
Well, thank you so much. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you. If anyone on the other end has any questions or concerns regarding audio, please raise your hand and we can see if we can figure it out. But I think we're good. So John, I'd love to go ahead and get started. I've got a list of questions for you.
Sure.
And I think a lot of people here really would love to know, What prompted this in the first place? What prompted you to sign up for Direct Mail 2.0?
Well, we've always looked at, new technologies and how to evolve as a service provider. And, our, luckily we understand marketing, and, if you don't, if someone on your team isn't understanding marketing, I would suggest to find somebody, that does, because it's important that we're not just printers, right? At least this is for duplicates. And so it's funny, as we looked at participating with direct mail and partnering with you guys, probably, I want to say 2 years ago, and I kick myself now that I didn't do that. So if you're on this, and I'm not getting paid for this at all, but if you're on this and you've been contemplating, it's crazy not to just jump in the deep end. You don't have to know everything. These guys will hold your hand like they have me, and made it happen. So anyway, coming out of some tough times, our facility flooded in 2018 when we had a hurricane, and then we had to rebuild. We had no flood insurance, so it was like really tough on cash. And once we made it through, we're like, man, we made it through this, we can make it through anything. And then this COVID thing hit, right? And it was a different type of flood. And what we knew is that we needed to change our model again. We needed to evolve again. We've been in business for 30 years. And so over 30 years, obviously, we've evolved numerous times, and we needed to get into digital. We knew this, and how can we do that with the ease of entry? And very familiar with you guys and your team, and you guys super focused partnership. And you guys just, I made the call, and it made sense, and we jumped in board, and we jumped in the deep end, and it's been pretty cool. I think we got involved with you guys like in February or so this year. So we've had some good results.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, reminder, you're not getting paid for these glowing endorsements, but we'll take it, right?
No, for sure.
But yeah, so we have a really great question here from Ben, and this is a really good point. So when you talk about bringing on another platform or another service, that's a huge undertaking from a business perspective. So how tough was that implementation? What were those initial couple of months like when you were bringing Direct Mail 2.0 on board?
Well, it definitely is a learning curve, right? And for us at our company, is that typically on new tech, I'm the guy that jumps in it, learns it, and then I train the staff, right, of who's going to handle it. I particularly like this, so for me, I'm handling a lot of it as we still get through. We're always learning with it, right? Because you guys are evolving, also always adding great new features, and as I am. So today we just had that issue with not an issue, but our project manager. I mentioned about the Direct Mail 2.0, and she said, well, you keep mentioning it, and I'm not sure what it is. So you guys, and I think Haley's my person, is we got to put a couple people here through the onboarding process, which you guys offer, right? And so, so Ben, it wasn't hard to get it going, and that you guys held my hand right away. And the best thing was to launch. I'm a big believer of being a product of the product, right? So we set up my direct mail piece first, my Direct Mail 2.0 piece first, which we were promoting an EDDM campaign, how we can enhance your EDDM with a digital.
Yeah, and that's a really good segue. Ben, I'm loving your questions, by the way. Keep them coming. But yeah, so we offer those self-promotion credits so you can, hit the ground running and advertise that you have this really incredible suite of service to your existing clients and prospects. So Ben here also wants to know, how tough of a sell was this product to existing customers? And particularly, and I can see this, those companies that feel they are data savvy, when you go to a company and say, I've got Direct Mail 2.0 or whatever your white label name is, and we do all these features, and they come back and say, well, I already do Facebook, or I already do Google advertising. How do you overcome that?
Sure. So folks that, I always compliment them because they're data savvy, and feel play into that, right? You know who your customer is. And my conversation to someone that is a data savvy person was like, I'm just going to say, hey, Bob, hey, man, and as smart as you guys are, and you're on the progressive edge of understanding digital and how powerful data is, if there was a way that I can show you how to really complement what you're already doing and like multiply the results, would you be interested in giving me about 20 minutes of your time to share with you some really cool secrets and a new partnership that we created with a Fortune 500 company? And they would. I have not had anyone tell me no to that yet. So if there was a way, would you? I always figure out what the problem is, and I say, if there was a way, would you? And they can't in their head say no to you, right? It just is not logical. So I always get the meeting. Now, how hard is it to sell it? Well, it's a different approach. What I would say is that, for you guys who've been looking at doing direct mail 2.0, or if you're already doing it, the biggest thing here, guys, is to remember, this is for me, is my approach is I never want to commoditize anything, right? So I shared with Andy, and I don't mind sharing with everybody, I'm pretty transparent, but I approach this that they get all those 7 features that you talked about earlier, and it's 17 cents a credit. That includes your ad spend, right? And so when I shared that with Andy, my guy, he was like, man, you're getting 17 cents a credit. 100% of the pieces I've sold is getting that, right? So I'm getting that. I don't know if that's good. I don't know if it's bad. Maybe I'm not charging enough. So if I'm not charging enough and you're on this, tell me right now, and I'm going to bump my prices up. I'm cool with that, right? Because the value that we bring, just like Direct Mail 2.0 is a partner with us. Well, guess what? Now our Duplicates is a partner for our clients, and we're able to bring value. We're an extension of their marketing team. Like it matters to me if this works or it doesn't work. The coolest part is the attribution. So if they're data savvy, that's awesome, right? Because 100% they will appreciate the fact that we're able to give 100% attribution, right? So your call tracking, I'm able to tell my client, he could see it. He can see how many phone calls he got. And he says to me, hey, a 4-minute phone call to my office isn't a mistake. It's not a wrong dial, right? We're talking to somebody at my office. So pretty cool stuff there. I hope that did that answer your question, Ben?
Yeah, let us know, Ben. I think that was a really great answer. And, going back to attribution, coming from a marketing background, I remember in school we were told, we know that 50% of our marketing works. We just don't know which 50% it is. So when you have those attribution features and you can go to a client and say, you had 30 calls that came in as a result of this direct mail piece, because this is the only place in the world that phone number is printed on. So there's no other way they could have called without picking up that postcard. So when you're able to present that data to them, I just think it sells itself. It sells the case for continuing to do direct mail and to reorder and re-up that. So I love the attribution feature of this. Now, have you used co-selling, or have you done any co-sales yet with your channel sales manager?
I know I know he wants to strangle me, but I'm just such a dive in and wing it approach that I have not. But I'm versed at it, and I haven't. He's been there for. We didn't do a presentation, but been on the phone with my client, with one of my clients before, when they had some questions early on, and I didn't know how to answer it. And acted as a Duplicates team member. So. Which you're not acting, you're not doing anything wrong. You guys are partners, and I never try to try to pull the wool over anyone's eyes. This is a service that we partnered up with a development team that has some remarkable stuff. So we haven't done a co-sell, but I know it's there, and that's like my safety net.
Right, a fallback for sure, right? What has your client's reaction been when they see the 17 cents per piece? Do they cut back the mailing quantity at all, or have they gone through one, seen the results, and said, yes, add this to everything that we do. I don't want to mail without it from here on out?
Yeah, so it's been like everybody so far that we have pitched this, and now understand, everything isn't for everybody, right? So I really try to figure out going into it who's it for, and presentation is everything. I create a really nice proposal for them that solidifies their decision of doing what we call direct mail 2.0. In our facility, I renamed it Market Smart 2.0, right? So when I offer Market Smart 2.0, we just let them know that the big thing is the 17 cents, right? So that's a great question. It's 17 cents. Absolutely. I'm glad that you brought that up. Here's the difference is that a lot of times that you'll go out and spend money on ads on social media, don't you? Right. People go, yeah. So, or you hire a firm to do that, right? And what do they charge you? They charge you a monthly fee to manage it. And then they ask you, what's your ad spend? Well, here's the beautiful part is that our 17 cents includes your ad spend. And it takes the direct mail piece from a 7-day window life that I call it a shelf life because it stands in the house about 7 days. And we just expanded your campaign to 30 days with the campaign booster and then all the follow up, the informed delivery. So for 17 cents, would you like to be in someone's house for an extra 23 days? Absolutely, and that's how it turns out.
Yeah, that's a tremendous value add for 17 cents. Sign me up.
No kidding, no crazy. And then I'm able to show them the amount of here's a sample, here's a real live campaign we've got going on right now, right? And so the mailer went out, it was 40, let's say it was 10,000, and we had 40,000 ads run this month. So for every mailer, the ads showed 4 times, right? And this is how many people clicked it. And then people start seeing that and they're going, this works.
Oh, that's awesome. Francesca here has a really great question. What type of businesses and industries have you used this service with? Or have you found that any particular ones are just like home run, knocked out of the park? You've got a client that is in this industry and you say, hey, this works like 100% of the time, go for it.
Yeah, I can't tell you because that's my, I'm kidding. Yeah. So, something that came across to us that we didn't have the foresight on is businesses that were now this is for the lead match part of it only, but we found like businesses that were really regulated by platform policies like Facebook policies or Google policies, such as maybe vape or firearms or things like that, right? So the lead match was super important because what we could do now is we call it your lead match. I call Rev, re-engage visitors, and we're able to use the lead match platform to get addresses of people that were interested in their product, and they cannot retarget those folks on social media or Google because of the item that they're doing, but they could retarget those folks with direct mail piece on a real-time value, real-time system, right? So that was super cool for a lot of these folks, right? So we've got a dentist that's doing that, as well as I think I got a fitness center getting ready to start with that, but the one that we have was a tobacco company.
Oh, wow. Yeah. And that brings up a really good point too. Depending on the industry, we do have those privacy restricted campaigns where, certain features you turn on, you turn off. It just, again, really, like you said, depends on the client and depends on the situation and the data that's available. So it's all about.
I'm sorry. Get excited about this stuff. So I can usually figure out a way that it will work for the industry, and that's where you guys have to get creative. When I say you guys, the folks on this webinar, you got to get creative on how will this help your clients make more money or generate more leads for them, right? As what think outside the box, right? You got to think outside the box. So, when you're looking at whatever industry it might be, there's a way to do it and use it. And how are we going to do that, right? So we did it for one that was like off the wall. We used Direct Mail 2.0 for a public transportation. They were starting a new route. Now, how do you measure success of that, right? Because they're not buying anything or anything like that. Well, what their problem was, is identify the problem, is that they didn't know how to measure their engagement with the community. So this new route, we focused on, we actually had addresses, and what we want to do is see how many people engaged with the either direct mail through a QR code, or either clicked on one of the social media ads or something like that. And then we were able to measure effectiveness. Now, were we a winner with it? 100%, because everything they've done in the past, they never measured. So it doesn't matter. I was able to give them the data, and it worked.
That's awesome. Yeah, again, it all comes down to the data that you provide, and again, just selling it and really proving that value and that exchange in abundance, all the technologies and services that you provide. A really good question we have. So what would you say to someone who is thinking about direct mail 2.0, but is wanting to, or they feel the need they have to sell it first, like they have to get 3 or 4 clients totally on board with this before they bring it on? What would you say to that?
I know exactly how you feel, because I felt the same way. And what I found out was that, it'd be like a client saying to me, hey, I want to do the direct mail. Why don't you do it for me? And if we get any sales, I'll pay you. Right. And I felt that same exact way, right? Because here we are entering a year that we're down 35%. And how am I spending more money? Which, my business partner, he controls that. And it's like, dude, we can't spend money, right? I think it's going to work. I get it. But you keep doing what you're doing, you're going to get what you got, right? So let's do this and use the resources available that you guys have. You guys had all the tools for me to be successful. All I had to do was pick up the phone, right? So what I did was actually, when we were in the conversation, picked up the phone to some of the top clients that we had a good relationship, and say, hey man, I'm taking something, I'm getting ready to make a big investment in our company, and we're going to partner with somebody. And this is the things. And now, knowing what I know now, I would have my my coach Andy work with me on a co-sell, because you're brand new at this. Is that I would have him work on it and get some verbal commitments that, yeah, if you bring that on, we'll do it. And the reason why we'll do it is because I'm going to offer to them maybe a discounted for only 17 cents. I'm able to do with you guys for 15 cents a piece, and we think it's going to work really big. That's how I would do it. So in the beginning, yeah, I was thinking the same way. But what I did is I did what I just told you. I did it on my own, not knowing. I didn't know what I didn't know, and I didn't know that I had Andy. I didn't have you guys to do that coaching. And when I asked that, it's because I'm ADD. He's like, yeah, you don't remember me telling you that we would do that for you? I go, oh yeah, okay. So that's what I would do. I wouldn't wait though to pre-sell. It's almost like, it shows your customer lack of commitment. Like, dude, you're either all in or you're dipping your toe in the water. And I don't think, if you're showing yourself from a command standpoint, like you know what you're talking about with marketing, you're not dipping your toe. You're in. Jump in the deep end. The cold water just lasts about that long.
It's not too cold, right? You want pretty quickly.
Hey, it's not as cold as being down 35%. That's for sure.
Exactly, right? That's
Yeah.
a really good way to put it. Keep the questions coming. We've had some really great questions, and I would love to make sure that everyone who's here on the webinar has everything answered. So don't hesitate to put those in the question and answer feature. We are answering those live. We have a question here. Has Andy done a webinar for you yet? I'm assuming that's with the co-sell, which you said you haven't done, but that is something that we do offer for clients.
So the webinar, I'm going to take that question a different way, not as a co-sell, but actually like a webinar, kind of what we're doing right now. Mm-hmm. And so that's on my list to do. I think that's very, very valuable. I happened to sit in on one for one of your other customers because I was curious how it looked and felt, and I loved it. And I was like, dude, I want that. And as I called Andy up, I was like, man, dude, will you guys do this for me? Right? Because they had a team of 3 girls, like, so 2 people that worked at the facility and one of your folks at your facility, and but it looked like the team from his print shop, and that, man, I loved it, and that's one of the things I really want to do by the end of this quarter, and promote the heck out of it, you know.
Yeah, it's an awesome opportunity, and a really great resource for our partners. Your success is our success, so we really want to be there for you guys and support you in any way that we can. Questions are slowing down, so I'll
I saw one somebody had about 17 cents of credit, and do you have a minimum? And so, yeah, I play off that minimum that's given on our end. So yeah, they could do under, but there's a minimum price that they have to spend, right? And so whatever that fee, whatever that minimum is with the direct mail 2.0, I have a minimum too, and it's just that number marked up. So far, though, the people that wanted to do that, I was able to sell them on a multi-month campaign, so they didn't have to be penalized by doing a minimum. I always go back to that. Listen, marketing isn't a one-time and done if it works. And what we need to do is get you to commit for 6 months, and let's give it a real shot. Listen, I'm not going to steer you wrong, and I'm not. And I'm going to learn with you. If we find out something's not working because of the tools that we have through this platform, we're able to adjust every month on the new mailer, right? So that's how I'll get around that. So I haven't had anyone do the minimum, because I approach it by, let's not just do it one time. So I kind of upsell them. I had a real estate company looking to do that as an EDDM, right? Want to do it one time, and you only want to do 1,700 records. Well, I said, how committed are you to it? I said, what if we're able to get you, I don't know, 1, 2, 3 new listings or sales in the whole campaign over a year? Is it worth it? He goes, yes. I said, let's just commit to a whole year.
Yeah, exactly. I love that. And yeah, that's another thing too. When we have that price objection, sometimes it's always, as a marketer, are you here to generate results, or are you here to save money? It's one of those things that you really have to take a really good look at. Here's a good one from Nate. Do you design in-house or work with client designers or agencies for your direct mail?
Most of it is done in-house. So most of it, 85, 90% is done in-house. And the purpose of that is just, I guess, our customer base, right? We're in the Myrtle Beach market. We're not in a metro market where there's a lot of agency stuff going on. So what I like about that, there's two things. What I don't like about it is that they don't know what they want until they see what they get, right? What I do like about it is that typically, if we're provided those files, they're typically not laid out the way it needs to be laid out, right? And in a marketing flow, like how's it read, where the placement is of everything. So, but we can work with either, because you guys, if I had somebody that has an agency, you guys give me all of the details of what I need to do for all my digital ads, and I'll just forward it over to them.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. All right, Sean, have you tried Lead Match 3.0 yet? That is on the horizon. So Lead Match 3.0 is coming out very soon. We're very excited about that. But I think a really good question from Ben here too is, do you charge a la carte for Lead Match? Or is that a service that you automatically bundle in with everything else when you're doing Direct Mail 2.0?
So Lead Match is on top of, I will show them the numbers coming in, and then if they want to purchase it, it's X. But what's the purpose of doing that, right? So now I'm starting to think of, so what is the plan of buying those leads? Are we going to mail out something else to them on a daily, weekly, monthly basis? And if so, let's roll it into that cost so it doesn't look like we're nickel and diming them. And Al, I hope you're doing well, Al. I don't know if you remember me or not. Al Kinnickle, we met a few times through the industry. So you guys rock and roll, man. You guys are actually one of my idols, man. I swear they are sharp people down there. So the 17 cents is on top of the mailing and the data services. It's its own charge. So it's on top of even providing mailing lists. It's 17 cents to do our Market Smart platform.
That's awesome. Again, questions coming, guys. These are fantastic questions. John, you have been fielding them like a pro, like you've been a partner with Direct Mail 2.0 since day one. which I love. I have one last question if we don't have anyone else come in, but what's the biggest piece of advice that you give someone considering direct mail 2.0? Now that you've fully onboarded, you've experienced the platform, experienced the product, what is one piece of advice you would give the prospective direct mail 2.0 partners?
Be a product of the product, really, because once you're a product of the product, right? And so this is B2B. We're all B2B here, right? And you can actually, if you could use this successfully from B2B, which you can, B2C is a lot easier. So be a product of the product, create a plan for using direct mail 2.0 for your business. And that way, right from the get-go, you're able to tell people, it's so great, I'm doing it myself for our company, and these are the results we're getting. And we were able to get the first mailer we did, I wrote down, we had 213 leads from Lead Match. We picked up a client out of Connecticut, which, we're in Myrtle Beach, we're not like, we do work out there, but picked up a client out of there, but the 213 leads we were able to download and start direct mailing to them, right?
Awesome. The power of it at work, right?
Absolutely, man.
Nate here. John, so again, when you were deciding to come on board with direct mail 2.0, how did you decide which level to go with in terms of licensing?
Yeah, so I was doing that. I was trying to dip my toe in the water and being very cautious, watching our money, and ultimately I wound up coming in as gold, and I've already upgraded to platinum.
Nice, that's what we like to see.
And for me, it had the best benefit was gold in the beginning, because I didn't want to commit to the platinum, and then I saw that we were moving it, and it was working well, and then so we went up just for the other little benefits that were involved that were of value to me. But I found you guys have been super easy to work with, right? So you understand, you come to the table with a business owner mentality, the guys that I'm all talking to, and the girls, I'm sorry, when I say guys, everybody, and you've always worked with me on whatever my concerns and made me feel at ease, and I don't know, I would start off wherever you're comfortable with and have a plan on growth, because you want to grow into that platinum level, from what I understand at it right now.
That's awesome. Yeah. Another good question from Sean here. Are you using the USPS promotions to get the postage discount?
So I'm going to answer two questions that I saw in there with that, right? So where we are, we work out of a small postal facility, and somebody asked, what's the average number that we're doing for clients? So the average number is anywhere from about 7 to probably 10 to 30,000 pieces, right? So it hasn't been enough. Yeah, I want to do that, but it just hasn't been enough for me to get into that discount mode. And I know it may sound crazy, you're saving money. You're absolutely right, but there's some just things that we've got to go through on our end, and we probably don't know enough about it. And I need to get with Andy about that, of how to take advantage of it. Because if we could save money, absolutely, and pass it off, that's another benefit, another way to sell it. Another piece of advice I would do is take advantage of those. I'm not doing it yet, but I need to, and I would take advantage of them.
Yeah, for sure. It's a really great, just again, value add with the direct mail 2.0 integration, informed delivery, and qualifying for that postage discount through the USPS. I'm trying to see.
I would almost use a thing about, hey, postage prices are going up, but when you mail with us, they go down.
Exactly.
And you use that integrated technology. And when you say those big words like static eradicator and integrated technology and all that, makes you sound smart.
It really does, doesn't it? All right, let's see if we have any other questions in the chat or Q&A. John, I think you've done a really great job answering everything here. Let's see. I don't see anything else. We'll give all the attendees one last chance. Now is the time to ask your question. We will be sending a recording of this webinar out, so you will have it for reference. You can look back to it and always reach out to us if you have any questions. John, do you have any parting thoughts before we sign off today, or?
No, man, I just, I appreciate this opportunity. I'm transparent. I love sharing our story and the different things that help us succeed. I mean, all of us on this webinar are in this thing together. And, I think helping one another, we can all make people understand how print is a viable communication and how it's super effective, especially when we tag it up with and tag team it with digital. And, just so if anyone has anything, you can always hook up with me on LinkedIn or however, and throw out some ideas to me, and I'll be happy to help out from looking at it from their standpoint.
Awesome, John. Thank you so much. We really appreciate your time and for joining us today. Your insight has been invaluable. I think you've answered a lot of really great questions. Sean, don't forget the Facebook group. I'm the marketing director. I totally feel you on the marketing materials. It is something we're working on. So stay tuned for that. That is in the pipeline. We will be revamping some of the resources we provide. So stay tuned for that. We're really excited for that project. But again, John, thank you so much. We'll send out a recording of the webinar to everyone. I appreciate everyone's time on a Wednesday afternoon, and I hope you have a great rest of the day.